We all heard of Bloody Mary growing up, right? That childhood dare, you turn off the lights, stare into the bathroom mirror, and whisper her name 3 times. Some of us laughed it off. Some of us swore we saw something. It was a game, a thrill, a ghost story told at sleepovers. But what if it wasn't just a story? Imagine staring into a mirror and seeing someone else blink. Not your reflection, not a trick of the light, but a pale, blood-smeared woman standing behind you, unmoving. That's exactly what one aristocratic Englishman claimed happened in the 1800s. And it destroyed him. This is the tale of a haunted mirror so disturbing it may have inspired the legend of Bloody Mary. A tale of obsession, delusion, and possibly a very real curse. Before we get into the story, if you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's always very much appreciated, and drop a comment on what story you'd like me to cover next. Now let's get into it. The mirror was acquired in the mid-1800s by a well-to-do gentleman in Gloucestershire. Wealthy, educated, and respected, he bought it from an estate sale of a crumbling manor. The mirror had been left in an attic, covered in thick dust and an old velvet cloth, almost as if someone didn't want it to be found. The man was a collector of rare artifacts and old books. He thought it a beautiful oddity, with its intricate blackwood carvings and foggy, silvery glass. He had no idea what he'd brought into his home. Locals whispered that the mirror had a dark reflection, that anyone who owned it went mad or vanished. But the gentleman, a rational man of science and learning, dismissed it as peasant superstition. He installed the mirror in his private study, a long, narrow room filled with maps, volumes of natural history, and medical curiosities. It was the perfect place, he thought, for reflection and solitude. And that's when things began to shift. First, it was subtle, odd chills in the room despite a roaring fire, the mirror fogging up when there was no heat. Then the shadows, darting just at the edge of his vision. Once, he was sure he saw a handprint in the glass. When he touched it, the print was cold. Then, late one night, he saw her. She appeared one night behind his reflection. A woman in an old-fashioned dress, soaked in blood. He turned. No one was there. When he looked back, she was gone. But she would return, again and again. Sometimes she was closer. Other times, further away, always behind him. Never blinking, never moving. He stopped inviting guests. He stopped sleeping. Servants noticed him talking to himself, then screaming. One maid reported that she saw him sitting before the mirror for hours, whispering softly, laughing and weeping in turns. Another claimed to hear scratching on the glass late at night, like fingernails dragging across it. Once, the mirror was found with blood on the surface, though no one in the house had been injured. In his journal, he wrote things like, "She knows when I'm watching. The glass doesn't reflect anymore. It shows. I think it wants me to join her." His notes became more erratic. Scribbles, symbols, pages torn out. He began referring to the woman as the bride in red. He became gaunt, wide-eyed, and withdrawn. His family, concerned for his sanity, summoned physicians. But the gentleman insisted he was sane, just cursed. Eventually, he was institutionalized, raving about the woman in the mirror. The mirror was removed from the home, but not destroyed. After the gentleman was committed, the mirror began its dark journey through the hands of collectors, heirs, and curious thrill-seekers. Each time it changed owners, stories followed, tales of dread, hallucinations, and sometimes tragedy. A widow in Yorkshire claimed the mirror whispered her dead husband's name at night. A clergyman in London reportedly smashed a chair into it, yelling that it showed him his sins bleeding. He later confessed to seeing visions of a woman drowning in blood. One young governess was said to have gone blind after claiming the woman in the mirror reached out and touched her. She fled the estate within days, never returning for her belongings. Over time, the mirror developed a reputation as cursed. It became the subject of whispered bets and drunken dares. At one point in the early 20th century, it was displayed at a private club in London as a curiosity, only to be taken down when 3 members reported identical dreams of suffocating in crimson rooms. As stories grew, so did the legend. Some said the mirror was made with quicksilver mined from cursed ground. Others believed it had once belonged to a French countess who practiced blood rituals during the Revolution. Whatever its true origin, the mirror's reputation was sealed. It wasn't just haunted. It was dangerous. Not everyone agrees that the mirror was haunted. Some psychologists and skeptics believe it was a case of mass suggestion or folie à plaisir, a shared delusion. Mirrors have always had a strange psychological power. Staring too long into one can produce unsettling effects, even in controlled environments. The Troxler effect, a neurological phenomenon, can make your brain fill in distortions when staring at your own reflection too long. Couple that with dim lighting, isolation, and a suggestible mind, and you're primed to see ghosts. But this wasn't one case. It was dozens. And the details, the identical woman, the smell of iron, the sense of dread, they didn't change across generations. Can that be dismissed as coincidence? Even hardened skeptics admitted that something about the mirror felt wrong, heavy, cold, like it was watching back. Some even refused to be in the same room as it. Folklorists suggest that the mirror taps into an ancient human fear, the idea that our reflection is not truly us, but something else mimicking us. Across cultures, mirrors have been believed to be portals, traps for souls, or gateways to the other side. In Slavic tradition, mirrors are covered after a death in the home to prevent the spirit from becoming trapped. In some African and Asian cultures, mirrors are believed to reflect not only the body but the soul, and that cracking one can split both. Even in the West, we associate mirrors with bad luck, with vanity, with supernatural omens. So when people look into the mirror and see more than they expect, it's not just about fear. It's about an ancient instinct, one that says, deep down, don't trust what you see. Where is it now? That's the question that keeps ghost hunters and historians up at night. Some believe the mirror is locked away in the archives of a wealthy collector, wrapped in black velvet, stored in a vault, never spoken of. Others say it was bought by a traveling sideshow in the 1950s, shown to audiences under the name The Screaming Glass. In some versions, the mirror resides in a dusty corner of a provincial museum, mislabeled, unassuming, its curse long forgotten. A particularly persistent legend claims the mirror hangs in a London hotel's hallway, passed off as a decorative antique. Guests who've stayed near it speak of nightmares, waking paralysis, or waking up to bloody handprints smeared across the bathroom glass. Whether hidden, destroyed, or quietly watching someone even now, the mirror has never stopped haunting stories. It lingers in urban legends, whispered on ghost tours, debated in online forums. Every few years, a new sighting is reported. A guest who checked into an Airbnb and found an old mirror facing the bed. A collector in Vienna who refuses to sleep in the same room as his latest acquisition. A photograph from a flea market in Prague showing a shadow where no shadow should be. One thing's clear, wherever the mirror is now, it hasn't finished its work. Many believe that this very mirror helped inspire the Bloody Mary ritual. The core of the legend, a ghostly woman who appears in the mirror when summoned, lines up chillingly with the historical accounts surrounding the bride in red. But who was the bride in red? According to the gentleman's journals, she was the pale figure who appeared in the mirror, a woman soaked in blood, dressed in crimson, staring silently through the glass. He claimed she never moved or spoke, yet she returned night after night, drawing closer. Some believed she was a spirit trapped by trauma, others a victim of violence whose soul clung to the object that witnessed her death. The nickname Bride in Red wasn't just poetic, it was literal. He described her wedding dress stained as if soaked in blood, her veil torn, her eyes hollow. The name stuck. Over the decades, those who encountered the mirror described seeing the same woman. The blood, the dress, the silence, and always that feeling of being watched. Some folklorists argue that children's games often evolve from darker, forgotten histories. That chanting Bloody Mary into a mirror isn't just play. It's a reenactment of a tragedy blurred by time. There are even claims that the mirror still responds. Whisper her name, flicker the light, close the door, and she'll show you what she showed him. But the question lingers. Was she a spirit trapped in glass? A fragment of madness? Or something even older than both? If you're brave enough to find out, go ahead, turn off the lights, light a candle, and try the ritual. But don't say we didn't warn you. And if you want more twisted tales like this one, check out my video on the cursed tomb of Pharaoh Tut, another artifact, another ancient mystery, and a string of unexplained deaths. I post real stories every single day, so subscribe if you want to learn more.